Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa podcast. I'm your host, Samit Paul, and thankfully we finally have a win to discuss again after Villa secured a 1-0 victory over Lille in the first leg of our round of 16 Europa League clash on Thursday night. It was Ollie Watkins who found the back of the net on the hour mark to give us an all-important advantage heading into the second leg, and hopefully it's a result that we can now build on with more crunch encounters coming quickly, starting with a trip to Manchester United in the Premier League on Sunday. As with every game, I'll be discussing my 5 key talking points as we have a deeper dive into our win over Lille. But first, let's have a listen to the boss, Unai Emery, and his thoughts on the game as he spoke to Villa TV.
Firstly, thankful with our supporters, 2,500 supporters here with us. This is really very important, how they are following us and supporting us, and of course, being helping in everything. And we felt then. And then we respect this competition because we know how difficult it is each match in Europe, away, and how it's for as well the European teams, like yesterday in Champions League, the English team, how they were struggling because the Premier League is a strong league, and when we are playing away in other countries, they have one challenge more over another challenge they can have. And we played very serious, and we were always organized, and we played as well, trying to defend strong, trying to feel comfortable defending as well, trying to get some transition, trying to get as well, when we were with the ball, our good positioning and to dominate with the ball. And we did it. We didn't create a lot of chances, but some clear chances to score. And really I am happy how the players respond in the game plan we did, and how as well we are respecting and understanding the difficulties we can have in case we are not playing serious and we're playing desperate and organized like we did. Of course, after it, we need their skills, we need their capacity to do something, adding for the team individually or collectively, and we must add numbers from the players, like today with Watkins, and of course we need as well add numbers with Morgan, with Sancho, with Leon Bailey, with Buendia, with the midfielders. And I am happy, but I know, and we were speaking in the dressing room, is the first leg. And this result is 1-0, is good, but we are going to extend another 90 minutes, respecting like we did today, and trying to play with this result, but as well in our home, trying to play, to set our game plan as well like we did today.
That was Unai Emery speaking to Villa TV after our 1-0 win over Lille in the Europa League. So on to my 5 key talking points then, and let's start with how vital it is to pick up a win and take an advantage into the second leg. Now, playing at home in the second leg through the knockout phase of the competition could prove to be a really decisive factor. I'm thinking more so when we've got a deficit to overturn, having that home support, the backing of the fans behind us to overturn the deficit and get back into the tie could be crucial. But in contrast, if Villa are able to return home with an advantage, that is an absolute added bonus. Now, Lille will no doubt play it smart next week, but if they don't find the breakthrough in the early stages of the game, they will have to now open up and take chances at Villa Park next Thursday night to get themselves back into the tie and get level. That will hopefully prove to be an invitation for us to exploit the space that they leave behind the back, and ultimately that will help us hopefully advance to the next round. Now, it's unlikely to be that straightforward of a task, but the importance of picking up a positive result on the road is absolutely huge, and ultimately it influences the approach and how both teams set up for the return fixture. Now, what we can't do is go too safe and play safe and focus on protecting what we have. I think it's critical that we continue to play our natural way and try to build on our lead. And as I say, with Lille potentially opening up, pushing numbers forward to try and find an equaliser in the tie, that will perhaps open up space that we can exploit if we're better and more effective. And it could suit the way that we want to play the game. So massive result, really important to come back with a win, and hopefully that sets us up nicely now for the second leg to advance to the next round. On to the second point, and that is that there is still a lack of quality in the final third, which is an issue for us. Now, one of the biggest issues and one of the biggest obstacles that we must still overcome is the lack of creativity and quality that we're struggling with in the attacking third. Now, the goal was great. The flick on from Emi Buendia to win that header was fantastic. And Ollie Watkins' awareness and ability to finish that looping header over the goalkeeper was a fantastic finish. So that was decisive. But I did feel once again in the first hour of this game that Villa were really poor in advanced areas, as we lacked the composure and execution when in dangerous situations, when in 1v1s or playing that final killer pass to put someone through. I thought we were sloppy, we were inaccurate, and those attacks ultimately ended prematurely. Now, if we don't find solutions and sharpen up our play, it's undoubtedly going to prove problematic for us. We're going to encounter problems not only scoring goals, but that puts the pressure on the defensive side of things to keep things tight and keep us in the game. It's not just on any one single player, because I think there were a number of players in the front four and in midfield who I thought could have done more. And so as a collective, we've got to be significantly better, and everyone has to improve their numbers in front of goal. That's going to be massive for me because, like I say, I think we really struggled to break Lille down. We've got some confidence in the latter stages after the goal, but the lack of creativity is still a concern for me, and hopefully that comes now with confidence and rhythm. On to the third point, and that is it was an important goal for Ollie Watkins. Now, his lack of goals in recent months has been a critical factor in our struggles. He's battled to offer something up front with his movement, his runs off the ball, his ability to hold things up, but he hasn't really been any sort of consistent threat for us when leading the line. Despite that goal drought, Emery has kept faith in him. He's never wavered. He's continued to play him through his bad form, despite having obviously Tammy Abraham sitting on the bench itching to be more involved. But he's continued with Watkins, and as we've seen in the past, he does stick to his players that he prefers and wills them almost through a bad patch of form and tries to help them get through it. That belief was finally rewarded on Thursday night as Watkins' goal puts us in a great position in the tie. But now it's hoped that he can build on this and become a consistent source of goals between now and the end of the season. Now, time will tell if that is the case and it has the desired effect of boosting his confidence and his clinical ability in front of goal comes back. But he'll be kicking himself for missing a glorious chance to double our lead not long after he scored. He raced clear. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. You thought, you've just scored, take it early, just bury it into the back of the net and we're 2 up and we're done. But he took his time, he dallied, he got confused with what he wanted to do, and ultimately he fell over the goalkeeper and no penalty was given. Couldn't find the finish. It was a big missed opportunity. So again, you'd like to think that the confidence boost coming from the goal would help him now be more prolific in front of goal, but that wasn't a great initial sign, but hopefully he can now build on it on Sunday. On to the fourth point, and that is John McGinn's return. Now, while winning the game was obviously the highlight of the night, a close second for me was the sight of our skipper, John McGinn, returning from injury. Now, he was only on the pitch for about 10-15 minutes or so, but the impact and influence that he had was evident immediately. I thought his physical presence, his tenacity, the way he was able to retain possession, help us hold out for the win, it was all boxes ticked, and it was just great to see him back in the heart of the team. There's no doubt that we missed his leadership and his ability to set the tone for his teammates during his absence. I think he's not only able to grab a game by the scruff of the neck from a defensive point of view, but the way that he presses, the way that he's able to brush people off, the way that he's able to hold the ball up and keep us on the ball and in possession, building, all massive factors. And I think we're going to be a much better side to having him back now in the team. Hopefully Yuri Tielemans isn't too far behind, but for now it's a massive, massive boost for all concerned to have our captain back in the fold. The fifth and final point is that it's a huge boost to get back on track now. It is actually quite remarkable how much a goal can change the mood amongst the group, as I thought we played with more freedom, more rhythm as soon as we found a breakthrough, and we threatened to extend our lead further in the latter stages with Amadou Onana hitting the crossbar, with Ollie Watkins' one-on-one chance. Suddenly things started to come back and we were playing more effectively the way that we want to play. The challenge now, though, is to take that momentum and confidence into Sunday's game with Manchester United. We'll need another massive shift defensively from all the players, but like I said earlier, we need to add that quality to the performance too if we're to return home with all 3 points. This win is now has to be a starting point for the rest of the season. There was perhaps a little bit of a hesitation or an element of trying too hard to force things in recent weeks, whether that was Morgan Rogers trying to find the way through and being the more dangerous player on the ball, but just not quite finding that end product, or other players just not playing that pass a split second earlier to play through the lines and get us moving onto the front foot quicker. Hopefully now with a win under our belt, with a great goal under our belt, players are going to get some more confidence, they're going to play a bit more freely, and we'll see a better performance on Sunday. This is a fantastic win that we've had in Lille on Thursday. Hopefully it will be the catalyst for the players to get back to playing our way more effectively with more confidence. So what were your talking points from our win over Lille? Do you disagree with any of the points that I've made? Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts. If you're listening on YouTube, leave your comments below. For those listening to the pod via Apple Podcasts, Spotify or other means, please head over to talkvilla.substack.com and get involved in the conversation over there. So that's a wrap on this episode of the Talk Villa podcast. A big thank you as always for taking the time to have a listen. We are steadily growing the channel, so for those of you who are joining from the beginning, thank you very much. For those currently coming on board more recently, thank you as well. All of you are appreciated. Please do subscribe to the pod or channel depending on where you're listening. That's either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube. Give the episode a like or leave a review if you've enjoyed it. And sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions and analysis, all delivered directly to you. And there is also an option of a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe. So Villa get back to winning ways with a pivotal result away at Lille, which means we're in a good position heading into the second leg. But as the old adage goes, the job is only half done as it's only half time in the tie. First things first, it's Manchester United away in the Premier League on Sunday in what could be a really decisive game in the battle for Champions League qualification. So let's hope that the players are ready for that and produce a big performance to get that ball rolling and get our momentum going. We'll see what comes off the back of that. I'll be back after that game with my analysis and reaction, but enjoy the midweek win and up the Villa.